Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we're going to talk about Disney's Wish, my thoughts on the movie. And my first thought is, I don't understand why so many dislike this movie. Sure, it doesn't hold up to Aladdin or Frozen, but I do think it is a good movie, a good Disney movie. I really don't understand why so many dislike it. I are first going to talk about the characters and then the story, like I usually do things. And with all of that out of the way, let's get started. And let's start with the main character of the movie, Asha. Now, I think she is a great character, even though she is the typical Disney princess character, a parent death, and living with her mother, being a generally great person, a really sweet person. So she is the typical Disney princess, and that works for her favor. This character really knows right from wrong, and she wants what's best for others, and that is the character's strength. She can come a little bit boring at times to time, but that is just a small thing for what I think is a good character. She's not the best Disney princess, but I don't think she's the worst either. And I don't have much to say about her. She does know right from wrong. She does know that the king is in the wrong keeping those wishes for himself. So again, it's typical. The next two characters I want to talk about is Star and Valentino. Now, I'm not gonna talk too much about those characters because they give us a few funny moments to help prolong the story forward. But as for Valentino, I feel like he's just a bit too annoying. I don't care for this character. He's just the typical talking animal in this movie. And as for Star, the fact that he can't speak and we can fully hear it or understand it also make it a little bit difficult for me to feel for the character. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're that good either. Some of those characters I wish I could have seen more out of is Asha's friends, Delia, Gabo, Simon, Darlo, and the rest. Now, only three of those characters, in my opinion, got real development, or not fully that development, but got a real focus in this movie, even though it wasn't that much. And I wish we could have seen more of them because I felt like those characters were some of the more interesting part of this movie. I think they could have been better if they all got a little bit more screen time. And the fact that if they had one more there, it would completely remind me of the seven dwarfs in Snow White. I have a feeling they were based off of them. So again, I like those characters. I wish I could have seen more of them in this movie, and I am hoping for a sequel. And as for Queen Amaya, I really like this character. I think she is the best character in this movie, starting like a supporting wife to her husband, but when he goes down the wrong path, she slowly but surely start to question him more and more and decide to help the heroes to stop him. So again, I think she had the best story development in this movie. I think the character was done great. I also think that if we get a sequel to this movie, that she should be with Asha on the far front. Not that she should be a secondary main character, she would still be a supporting character, but give her a little bit of a bigger role. And I think that a sequel, if it ever get one, will be great. And as for Sabion and Sakina, I like those characters, but they didn't have that big of a role in the story. They had they was part of the story because they were important to the story, because Asha wanted her grandfather to get his wish fulfilled. But except from that, I'm not gonna talk much about them because they didn't have that big of an impact on the overall story. And let's not forget about the villain, King Magnifico. Now, he isn't the best Disney villain. He doesn't hold a candle to Jafar or Maleficent, but he's not the worst villain either. I think he worked pretty great for this movie, and that lies with the fact that he wasn't starting out as a villain. He was maybe a bit selfish, but he had the people's best interest at heart and trying to avoid some tragedy that happened earlier in his life. And when you listen to him, he sounds like a good person. It sounds like he wants what's best. But when people start to question him or doing things he doesn't like, he gets angry. And he's not just a little bit angry, he gets really angry. He has the mindset of a dictator, he's self-centered, and he's arrogant, and he doesn't like being questioned. So he has all the quality for a villain, but he seems almost like a good guy in the start of the movie. He's sent into real villainy like classic Disney villains. Doesn't start before after someone gets a wish he doesn't have, like a star coming down to them. And it also helps that the people really start to question him. But who can forget that song he comic? This is the thanks I get. This is the thanks I get. That was a really great song in my opinion from a Disney perspective. It's not some song you probably want to listen to every day, but it's not a bad song either. And it's during that song that we see his full transformation into villainy. I think this villain works great. I think he could have been better, but he's not bad. I don't think he would be on a top 10 Disney villain list. I honestly don't think that will be the case, but as I said, I still think he's a good villain. And as for the story is pretty great. Again, the movie itself doesn't hold up to the movie like Frozen or Aladdin, but I still think it's a really great movie. I think the characters are great, and again, I don't understand why so many dislike this movie. As for the story is based by a girl that wants her grandfather to get his wish fulfilled. And again, if it was just that without any twists and turns, then it wouldn't have been a great movie. And the fact that the king is the villain is not exactly the biggest twist, but I feel like slowly they got into his villain side instead of just his jerk side. Worked well for this movie. I think the character progression is really great. I think that our main character is great. And what I think this movie lacks is that it's not that long. It could have been a little bit longer to flesh out some more details and given certain characters a little bit more screen time. But in and all, I think it's a good movie. Not the best of Disney movies, not the worst of Disney movies, but a good movie. And that's it for this video. Did you guys like this movie? Did you dislike this movie? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope to see you guys again next time.